Hey, so are we related? Oh, probably not. You see, I was abandoned at sea as a child. Me too! Oh, well, I was in a different sea than you. Stop denying me, brother! Ricardo! Ladies, gentlemen, and arena completers of all times, Deshagama of the Hollow, the first of these special challenge arena quests planned for Monster Hunter Wilds, has finally concluded. You can no longer participate in this arena quest, and if you look at the leaderboards for it, you will see that they are currently actually grayed out as the devs are tabulating the rankings from this. And what does this mean specifically, you might ask? Well, they aren't just counting to 10,000, they're looking into all of the times that are on these leaderboards in those top slots, not just the ones that are super obvious like the 1 second kills that were cheated, but also they're looking for more subtle bits of cheating too, like just slight damage increases and stuff like that. To catch you all up on this saga so far surrounding this quest, it all started when the quest was announced as having actual in-game rewards in the form of pendants. These pendants were meant to be one as a participation reward, one as a reward for hitting A rank, and one as a reward for being in the top 10,000 on the leaderboards when the quest concluded. This of course led to the inevitable of people using cheats of various kinds to do fake runs of the quest with completely unachievable times just because they wanted the reward. And while this is a thing that isn't new really, this has always happened with leaderboard systems in Monster Hunter games, even when there isn't a specific reward attached to it, but this is the first time that it actually means something because of these pendants. And yes, in the grand scheme of things, it is just a pendant, but it's a reward that is meant to signify an actual achievement hanging from your weapon, and a lot of players got to the point that they just weren't going to trust anyone who got the pendant was legitimate, because people have ran this quest over and over and over, seen what the actual proper times are, and then looked at the leaderboards and seen like 1 second, 2 seconds, 30 seconds even is way too low. That said, Capcom responded to the initial issues people had by promising to remove any illegitimate times from the leaderboard, and even saying that they would ban these players from participating in future arena quests as well, which is generally a solid solution, provided that they can actually catch all the people who cheated here. But they didn't expand on how they would do that exactly. As more and more cheated times seemed to appear on the leaderboard, a further change was made, and it shifted how the actual pendant rewards are going to be handed out. Now, instead of one pendant for participation, one pendant for A rank, and one pendant for top 10,000 time, it is 2 pendants for participation, and the top pendant being just for getting A rank as your time. It's a bit of a shame for that a cool concept has been effectively ruined by people who refuse to play fair, but better to have way too many people ending up having the pendant in the end than to have it be near exclusively for people who didn't play by the rules to begin with. That said, this choice made it uncertain exactly how confident the devs are in their ability to catch and ban all the cheaters on the leaderboards, and this was more or less the end of it all until earlier today, with the challenge quest ending, the actual time going away so that you can't participate in the quest anymore. 2 tweets came out from the official Monster Hunter Twitter account. The first that I want to be talking about today is this, titled "Our Action Against Cheaters." They've announced that they will be taking a 1 to 2 week period to actually go over the leaderboards. They'll be checking the runs and seeing which ones are legitimate and which ones are not, so that they can remove all of the illegitimate times that they find, and so the actual ranking leaderboards can be preserved long term with hopefully accurate 10,000 top players, as it will sit on the board for the future for all to look at it moving forward. They've said that they will judge not only purely on the clear time itself, so they aren't just getting rid of the 1 second times or the 30 second times or the other unachievable possibilities either. They will also be conducting their own investigations and taking appropriate measures as a result. They then reiterate how the banning will work, removing the fraudulent times, preventing them from participating in future event arena quests like this, but also they won't be receiving any pendants from the arena quest to begin with at all, which does seem like a little bit of a tiny slap on the wrist when these are people who have modded the game and can probably mod the way to get these in too. Then at the very end of this, they link a warning about unauthorized data modification, which feels like a very pointed way of saying that one of the things that they will be checking outside of literal times are any file changes that have been done with the player during the run. And this brings us to the second tweet, tweet, which is directly in relation to the unauthorized data modification warning, and on here it specifies pretty directly that they have essentially seen fake high-rank investigations, field surveys, and more, and these are something that I have seen confirmed as well from the community. I've heard tales of these, stories of looking for quests through the SOS flare system, and seeing one listed that has like 1,000 decorations as a reward in total, stuff like that. And while some players may even hear that and think, whoa, that sounds great, I'd love that, there were modded quests in Sunbreak, like those, that genuinely cause people's games to crash, to break, even lose progress on their save. That to say, if a quest looks suspicious in the rewards, I would avoid joining it, or at least if you do, it's on your own head. They can be edited in more subtle ways than that as well. It's not necessarily just like 1,000 decorations, like you can have a monster on a map that it shouldn't normally be, but just keep an eye out for suspicious stuff when joining SOS flares, and this is Capcom's official list of things to look for on quests to avoid this. I have no judgment for what people do when playing solo, as far as I'm concerned. When the game is in its single player form, it's your experience and you can do whatever you want. If you want to have every decoration in the game in an instant, go for it. That's up to you. It will affect your progression and your feeling of longevity from the game, but it's your game, so it's your choice. What I don't abide by, however, is messing with other people's games or their experience. And so yeah, just be careful about joining these quests because some people do post them. That said, there is also a secondary follow-up to this tweet from the official Monster Hunter account that says that they will be implementing more countermeasures in the future to detect users that have engaged in unauthorized modification of game data in order to prevent other players from joining the quest without realizing it. This can be read a couple of different ways, really. To me, it reads as them wanting to just get better at stopping these modded quests specifically from ever being posted to begin with, like some sort of system to check if a quest is legal before it gets posted in the first place. And the rest of the tweet as a warning about these quests existing and that they can't be held responsible if you happen to join one and it fucks your game up. That said, there is another way to read this as well, especially with the consideration that this post was linked in the post about arena cheating and bans, which is that they are going to get more proactive in banning data modification of all kinds done to the game. In which case, is this only quest reward modification or all custom quests? Maybe they want to get rid of things like guaranteed gold crowns. I could see that being a thing, but that would be a harder thing to check for, I imagine. That said, it could go further. If you're wanting to protect arena challenge quest times, you'll need some sort of system to make sure that damage numbers, motion values, or monster health values haven't been edited or changed in some way in the files, and while it will take a lot of man hours, I do think that's precisely why they are taking up to 2 weeks, going through the leaderboards for the challenge quests, going through the numbers of the top runs, and making sure that everything all adds up, making sure that the damage numbers that come from the weapons are actually correct for the stats of the sets and stuff like that, making sure that all the damage that happens through the quest adds up to the correct amount of monster health, that type of stuff. But then there's the question of how far could this extend? If they are taking action against modded quests and calling it unauthorized data modification, what else counts under that banner? What about performance enhancing mods, things that make your game run better? What about graphic enhancing mods? What about aesthetic mods like layered weapons that just replace one weapon's model with another one visually in the files but doesn't affect gameplay in the slightest? What about mods that remove a glow from your character so you aren't just constantly glowing, which a lot of people don't like? I mean, I use some of these visual enhancement ones for the skit type videos that I do as well, like the weapon stereotype series. Does that mean that I should be banned as well? I don't know. I'm not the authority on any of this, and unfortunately the wording here is unclear on how strict they are going to be with all of it. It could be interpreted in multiple different ways, but the one that I'm choosing to take from it, with the context of the specific wording, is that mods as a whole aren't going to be banned, but fake quests with cheated rewards or cheated monster modifications will probably be. The challenge arena quests will be monitored extra closely for all sorts of cheating or mods, and as far as how to handle the challenge quests in the future, I think even with this extra bit of moderation, they seem uncertain they will catch all the cheaters, hence why they've decided to give the best pendant to anyone who reaches A tier finish at all. So I think the best solution in the future for future challenge arena quests is to just add an S rank completion time to the challenge quests. We already have A, B, and C, so add an S rank on top of that to replace the top 10,000, and then you can set that timer to be extremely tight, make that the requirement for the actual pendant. You can make it like the legitimate fastest runs that I'm aware of for the Shagama arena, for example, are around 1 minute and 50 seconds, so you can set it to like 2 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes, and it would still be extremely tight. It would be extremely exclusive among people who didn't cheat for it. Or you could make it even up to like 3.5, even 4 minutes, and most players would still never have gotten it with this first challenge quest. All this to say, the challenge quest is over. They are looking over the leaderboards, they've changed how the rewards are going out for the quest, and they're going to revisit how they do this with future challenge arena quests in the future too. They've also put out warnings about data modification with the game, and this specifically goes over how to recognize and avoid modded quests when joining other players and why you might want to do so. But it gives more vague warnings as well about modding as a whole. Personally, I think do whatever you want in your own game, in solo hunts and single player, all that, whatever you feel like doing. Just don't bring any of it into multiplayer and affect other people's games. As simple as that. As for visual mods, I really hope they don't take action against people who are just doing stuff like model swapping so they don't have to stare at an artian weapon constantly, but we are yet to see their specific stance on the matter past what we've had tweeted out today. I hope you've all enjoyed this sort of roundup on the current status of the situation then, and let me know any of your own thoughts on any of it down in the comments below. Like if you liked the video, subscribe to the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.